Good morning. We have a governor who likes to say California is a model for the nation. And we have a president who seems to be taking him at his word. President Biden has nominated Gavin Newsom's former labor secretary, Julie Su, to be the next United States Secretary of Labor. With this nomination, President Biden has made his most consequential move yet towards bringing the policies, politics, and personnel of Sacramento to Washington, D.C., towards making California's problems the nation's problems. So as we stand here today in front of our state capitol, we need to ask what kind of model the Julie Su Labor Department and Gavin Newsom governorship would provide. Simply put, it is a failed model. In her tenure as our state's labor secretary, Julie Su failed the people of California. First, under her supervision, our state's unemployment office, known as the EDD, failed to deliver unemployment checks to millions of Californians who lost their jobs because of the COVID shutdowns. Number two, because of her gross negligence, the EDD made upwards of $30 billion in fraudulent payments to fraudsters and criminals, the largest fraud of taxpayer dollars in history. And third, as an architect and enforcer of the corrupt labor law known as AB 5, Julie Su cost thousands of California freelancers their livelihoods. As elected representatives and community leaders in this nominee's home state, we have a responsibility to vet this nomination. And we are here today to say that Deputy Secretary Su is manifestly unqualified to be the next Secretary of Labor for the United States. We have today a number of elected representatives and community leaders who can testify to the consequences of her failed leadership directly. I have already written a coalition letter to President Biden, signed by members of the California congressional delegation, urging him to nominate anyone other than Su. And I am joined today by Assembly Republican leader James Gallagher, who is making the same request of the president. Leader Gallagher's voice is one that it is vitally important for anyone considering this nomination to listen to. Because if we want to know how Julie Su would run the U.S. Department of Labor, the best indication is how she led the California Department of Labor. And the members of Leader Gallagher's caucus had to deal directly with the consequences of her failure of leadership in that position. So here to tell the story of what Deputy Secretary Su's failures meant for Californians and what they would mean for all Americans, it is my honor to introduce the exceptional leader of the California State Assembly Republicans, James Gallagher.